Y'all know this is Sway J. What it is? Lil Fence, I go. Swag boys, swag boys. Put me in the game. The game. The game. The game. The game. The game. Let go. Put me in the game, girl. When it's fun to lie. Put me in the game, girl. Let me.
Yo, YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim. He's AC. This is a Cash Killing AC Sports Report. No, I'm not going to waste my time talking about Rex Ryan. It's his personal deal. Let the man alone. Now, we're going to get into the NFC West now. I don't know the exact records because, quite frankly, I don't give a shit about the NFC West because there's not a team in that division that has a chance once they get to the playoffs. I believe at this moment the 49ers are basically out, and it's a matter of the Seahawks, the Cardinals are out, and AC. Who is leading that division right now?
Right now, we got the Rams at 6-8. They're, I guess you could call it the top team in that division, even though there really is no top team.
6-8, and they're gonna make the playoffs?
The Rams are on top of the division right now at 6-8. The Seahawks, I believe, are also 6-8. The Niners are 5-9, and the Cardinals are mathematically out of it. They're like 4-10.
The Cardinals suck. So technically speaking, both of these teams could lose their last two games. The Rams could win the division at 6-10.
Absolutely, they could. The Rams could win the division at 6-10 because I believe, although I have no idea, they own the tiebreaker between themselves and Seattle. But I have no idea. But yes, there could be a team in the playoffs this year with either a 7-9 record or a 6-10 record.
Wow. I mean, that's just not right. You're talking about that happening, and then teams like the Packers or the Giants who could be out of it and end up with like a 10-6 or 9-7 record. There's an issue there, and that's what we got to get to in this video. The Redskins even could make a case that they could have had a better season than that. Any team,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, but to go 6-10 and win a division is not good. I mean, I know what people are going to say about what we're about to propose is that, well, there's not going to be any teams from the West because both the Western divisions suck, and there's not going to be interest. Well, you know what? I hate to break it to St. Louis Rams fans, which, first of all, I don't get at all how they're in the West. I know they moved from L.A. to St. Louis, but I don't get that. But
Further west than them.
yeah, and they're in the East. So that shows how much the NFL makes sense. But 6-10, you shouldn't be making the playoffs. What the NFL needs to do at this point, they need to take the top 6 teams and just seed them up according to record. Like the Saints. The Saints could technically go like 12-4, same record as like the Eagles or the Bears, who could get that second spot, and end up with like the 5th or 6th, or no, not the 6th. End up with the 5th seed, have to play the first round. That shouldn't happen. I mean, we should be talking about the Saints or the Falcons, whoever ends up the odd man out in that division, probably being the 2nd seed in the NFC, rather than being the 5th or 4th even.
Absolutely. I mean, even you look at where the Giants are at right now. The Giants. They could have a 9-7 record, or they could. I'm pretty sure.
They could have 11-5 record at this point.
11-5 record, and they might not even. There's a possibility that they won't make the playoffs with that record.
Yeah, I mean, it's not right, and, you know, we're not Giants fans, but we have common sense here. The Rams should not be making the playoffs if they're 6-10. No team really should be making the playoffs if they're 8-8, for that matter. I think you should be 9-7 at the very least to make the playoffs. I mean, it's not the NBA here. It's not where every team should just get in where, you know, yeah, you guys tried this season. Come on down to the playoffs. We'll let the Lakers kick your ass for few games. It shouldn't be that. It should be that the best 6 teams get in. So, I mean, the NFL can say, well, we don't want to do that because it takes the West. But the NFL has such a following right now that people are going to watch whatever's on. And more people will watch and continue to watch if it's a better product on the field. I mean, you can't honestly tell me the wild card round of the playoffs, if the Giants or the Packers play the Rams, that they would absolutely crush them, because I just don't even see how that's not possible. The Giants have a better defense, the Giants have a better offense. Hell, I think in some cases, for the Packers, who have a lot of their backups playing due to injury, you could throw some of the backups in and still beat the Rams, but the Rams are going to get in the playoffs because their division sucks.
Yeah, which, again, as we keep saying, it really isn't right. It screws a lot of teams over that are better than them, and it doesn't work. And people say, well, we should have at least one team from the West. Well, you know what? Maybe if they won a few more games, they'd get into the playoffs. I mean, that's the only division. The NFC and the AFC West are the only two divisions in the NFL that, to me, don't have a dominant team in them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even need a dominant team, but I need one team at least to post a winning record. I mean, you talk about the Eastern divisions, NFC and AFC, both of those have tremendous competition. A team like the Dolphins could go like 7-9 in that, where if they're in the NFC West, they could go 12-4. I mean, the competition level in the AFC West isn't even good. So, to me, it's just silly.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And people are, a lot that I hear from the people that are against that, are against the change into the 6-team overall playoff bracket. It'll take away from the division rivalries. No. It's about geography. It's about the region. I don't think it'll take away from the rivalries at all. If it's a big enough that the teams don't like each other and that they battle each other, that it'll still stay a rivalry. I mean, the team wants to win.
I think it'll add to the division rivalries. I mean, if you're talking about 3 teams in the NFC East, or 4 teams even from the NFC, we'll use NFC East. Let's say that the Redskins go 8-8, the Giants go 9-7, the Cowboys go 10-6, and the Eagles go 11-5. I'm just throwing that out there. That's probably not even possible, but let's say that. Wouldn't that add to the rivalry? Wouldn't that make it even better? Wouldn't that make every game mean more? If you're talking about 4 teams from one division potentially getting into the playoffs?
Yeah, it would mean more, but I do see their side of this. We're saying the division doesn't really matter then. It's kind of, we could have 4 teams from one division in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's possible, but it's not probable, but it's possible, and that could definitely add to a rivalry in the playoffs. It can mean a lot more exciting playoff games. Absolutely.
The divisions don't matter in the NBA or the NHL, and they're still doing fine there. I mean, they're not in the best of shape, but I think divisions are a bit overrated. I like it in baseball. For the most part, I do like it in football, but it's just not right how in baseball, for the most part, the best teams get in. Obviously, there's an exception.
Happen is the NBA and the NHL, where it's literally harder to miss the playoffs than to make them. That's what I don't want to see.
Yeah, well, and I mean, that's why I don't like the NBA and NHL playoffs the first round. Hell, the NHL playoffs are probably the best playoffs out of any sport. I love watching the NHL playoffs. But I don't need to see the 8th seed, who, for the most part, probably isn't going to win, against the number 1 seed who worked hard to get there. I just think it's silly. I'm Tim, he's AC, sharing our common sense. We'll see you later.
So you know we getting money, so you know we blowing stacks. Don't know button up on cash, how you gon' talk?